Hi guys, welcome to today's show. We're about to dive into something that's controlling our lives way more than we realize: distraction. Yeah, that little thing that pulls you away from actually doing what you want to do. Whether it's your phone, social media, the endless news cycles, or even your own wandering thoughts. Distractions are everywhere, especially in the modern world. Just talk about TikTok. But here's the kicker: it's not an accident. We're being trained to be distracted. Our attention, our focus, these are most valuable resources we have today. And guess what? There's a battle going on for them right now as we speak. Companies, apps, websites, they're all in it. They want your attention and they're doing everything in their power to take it. And you know what's crazy? Most of us don't even see it happening. Today I'm going to pull back the curtain on why we're so addicted to distraction, how it's reshaping our brains, and what can be done to fight it back. Because believe me, this is a battle that you really need to win. So let's get into it. Just picture this. You sit down to work on a big project, something important, something that actually matters to you and that matters to the world. You're focused for maybe 5 minutes, then ping, a notification comes into your phone. You check it, of course, just for a second, but now you're sucked in. 10 minutes later, you're watching a video of a cat playing the piano. You didn't even realize what was happening. And before you know it, the time is passed. Sounds familiar, right? We've all been there, but here's the thing: those distractions aren't harmless. They're not just annoying little interruptions, they're rewiring our brains. Every time you get distracted and switch to something else, you're training your brain to crave more distractions. Dopamine, the pleasure chemical, is released every time you check your phone, get a notification, or see something new. Over time, you start to crave a hit of dopamine constantly, and ordinary life just starts looking boring, and you have to constantly look at your phone for stimulation. It's not just bad for productivity, it's bad for our mental health. We're living in constant state of overstimulation, and it's exhausting. Our brains were never meant to handle this much input, this many distractions. We're burning out and we don't even know why. So here's the big question: why is this happening? And the answer is simple: because your attention is worth money. Think about it. Companies are fighting tooth and nail to keep you scrolling, tapping and checking in. Social media platforms, news websites, video streaming services, they all profit from one thing, and that's your attention. The longer they have it, the more ads you see, the more data they collect, and the more money they make. So how do they keep you hooked? You've probably heard this from multiple videos. They make everything as engaging and distracting as possible. Infinite scrolling, autoplay videos, target notifications. They know exactly what it takes to keep you in the loop. And now we have the TikTok algorithm. And here's where it gets even darker. They've studied human psychology to the point where they know more about you and what you want than you do about yourself. And it's working. But let's talk about the reality. About what's really thought-provoking for a second. We've always heard that knowledge is power, right? But today's world, attention is power. The people who control their focus are the ones who achieve their goals, making breakthroughs and living life on their own terms. The rest, they're just along for the ride, pulled in 1,000 different directions by whatever grabs their attention. And here's the kicker. We know this, but most of us don't do anything. Why? Because distraction is easy, it's comfortable, it's quick. Escape from whatever hard or uncomfortable situation in the moment. But staying distracted comes at a huge cost: your potential. Think about this. How many projects, goals, or dreams have you started only to abandon them halfway through? How many times have you sat down with the intention to really focus on something, only to end up in a sea of distractions? What if I told you that you're giving away the most valuable asset you have, and that's your focus? Every time you let yourself get distracted, you give up a precious piece of yourself. What if I told you that by learning to reclaim your attention, you could unlock levels of productivity and creativity you didn't even know you had? We live in a world that profits from keeping us distracted. But if you can learn to take back your focus, you become unstoppable. And this is where things get interesting, because the fight for your focus isn't just external, it's internal too. So let me explain. We all have this internal voice, this inner resistance that doesn't want us to focus. It wants us to procrastinate, to avoid hard things, to seek out comfort and distraction. It's that part of us that convinces us to check our phones just one more time or watch one more episode of the show. And if we don't learn to recognize and fight that voice, it'll keep running the show. But here's the good news. You can win the battle. You can reclaim your focus, and it's not as hard as you think. It starts with awareness. It starts with noticing when you're distracted, when you're reaching for your phone, or when your mind is wandering. You can just pull yourself back. And then it's about taking action. I want to challenge you to do something today. Something simple but incredibly powerful. Take a look at how you spend your time. Really look at it. How many minutes, hours, even seconds? How many of them are you spending on distractions that don't serve you? What's sucking up your attention? Now here's the key. Don't just notice it. Start changing it. Put your phone on Do Not Disturb for 1 hour and focus on one task, just one. Block out the noise, notifications, the distractions. See how it feels to have your focus entirely on what matters. It'll feel uncomfortable at first because we're so used to being pulled in 1,000 directions, but stick with it. The more you practice reclaiming your focus, the easier it becomes. Now here's where things get really exciting. Once you start reclaiming your focus, you begin to see just how much power you really have. You start achieving things faster. You make better decisions, and you feel more in control of your life. You realize that you get to decide where your attention goes, not some algorithm or external force. And when you unlock that power, the sky is the limit. So here's what I want you to take away from today's episode. You are in control of your attention. And if you want to achieve your goals, live a fulfilling life, and create real change, the first step is learning to master your focus. The world is full of distractions, and they're not going away, but you don't have to let them run your life. The power to reclaim your attention, your time, and your energy is in your hands. And trust me, it's worth fighting for. Thank you for tuning in today. I hope this episode has got you thinking about your focus and how you can take control of your life. If you found this helpful, don't forget to subscribe and share this episode with someone who could use a reminder to take back their attention too. Stay focused, stay powerful, and I'll catch you in the next episode. Thank you.